Formidable, muscular, confident. It's no wonder why gorillas don't have natural enemies, and even dangerous predators like lions try not to mess with them. This is Wildlife, and in this episode, you'll see these bodybuilder primates in action. Let's go. Chase. Nothing interesting happened in this video at first. In a national park, two gorillas were standing quietly in front of people when suddenly this happened. One of the apes began to retreat and gradually accelerated. A few moments later, the second gorilla ran after the first one. Actually, the word ran is an understatement. I don't know what animal can elude the chase at such a speed. Nevertheless, there is a disadvantage to such a high-speed chase. If your opponent suddenly fools you by taking a turn somewhere, you will inevitably fall down and fall on the ground in inertia. That's exactly what you see happen to one of the apes. But maybe it wasn't a fight at all, they were just playing that way. What do you think about this? Write in the comments. The following story shows us that almost anything can happen in the gorilla world. These creatures were very smart, and even their games between relatives stand out for their forethought. For example, two aggressive brothers wanted to play with the baby, which is on the back of its mother named Cindy. The bullies didn't just ask the baby for a while, but tried to take it away by force. Of course, the mother and its innate instincts prevented the two bullies from doing so. Nevertheless, the brothers' onslaught only increased. First, they chased the ape into a cage, and then they pushed it into a corner. If not for the father that intervened in this chaos, no one knows how it would have ended. The head of the family quietly took the baby from its better half and put it on its back. The bully brothers didn't want to mess with such a giant. It could have ended sadly for them. Which animal's stronger, gorilla or lion? This is the question people ask when they hear about how strong apes and lions are. After all, it's always interesting to compare someone and find out who's tougher. Well, since our episode is all about gorillas, I suggest we talk about them. The male can grow up to 6.5 feet in height and weigh over 330 pounds. Despite such impressive size, the ape almost always eats only plant food. Of course, there are cases of eating animals, but this is very rare among gorillas. Although if I were them, I'd take a look at this option. No matter how you look at it, eating 66 pounds of vegetation every day can be tiresome, especially when you consider the formidability of their appearance. Such a diet looks even more incomprehensible and strange. After all, these creatures are so strong that in comparison with humans, we're 8 to 10 times weaker than them. A gorilla can carry a load weighing up to 1,750 pounds, as well as lighter weights, while jumping 5 feet in length and height. Of course, such a creature cannot help but frighten other animals, including even lions. And if we consider that gorillas beat their chest, constantly live in groups, and have intimidating fangs, then it's likely that even the most experienced lion, or several of these big cats at once, will lose to gorillas in battle. It's impossible to say which one is stronger in a one-on-one combat. Everything depends on the experience of the fighting animal and its attitude to the battle. But the chances of the gorilla and the lion are about equal. The Battle of Two Mothers. When you're always carrying a baby on your back, thinking about it, taking care of it, it can't help but make your psyche more unstable and sensitive to every moment in life. This is true not only of humans, but also of apes. In this video, two mothers were taking care of their offspring, but something angered one or the other, and this led to a fight. Luckily, the fight was immediately stopped by their congener, but it still looked at least dangerous. After all, one of the females could have accidentally hit the baby, and the consequences of such a blow would have been unpredictable. What do you think could have caused such a fight in the first place? Write in the comments. And here's another battle of females, the one I told you about, the battle in which they can injure a baby and not even notice it. For some unknown reason, one of the females attacked the other. As a result of one of the first blows, the mother's baby fell off its back, but it didn't even notice it, continuing to fight furiously. Understanding the severity of the situation, the males nearby swiftly came to help and managed to resolve the situation. One of them immediately took the baby with it to a safe place, and the other went to separate and calm the aggressive ladies. No one knows how this battle would have ended if such responsible and resourceful males had not been around. The battle at the zoo. To be honest, it seemed to me that if apes live in the same enclosure, in the same zoo, they'll never conflict with each other. At least because it's simply stupid and unpleasant to live with a neighbor that's aggressive towards you. It's much easier to ignore certain things and not to get into fights. Nevertheless, the following video proves that not all gorillas see the situation that way. Right in front of the people, these two jocks started a battle for territory and attention. The winner can stroll stately along the glass, and the loser will have to get out of sight. As you can imagine, here's the winner. The loser, on the other hand, kept its promise and went off into the distance, where it couldn't even be seen. I wonder if these apes were good with each other the next day, or do they have grudges against their congeners too? Share your thoughts in the comments. Although maybe gorilla battles are the usual thing for them, because there was another clash in the next video, and it didn't look like it happened for the first time. Two apes posed in front of people, showed how powerful, strong, and free they were to do whatever they wanted. Everything was going pretty smoothly, but then one of them decided to move and pose in front of other people. Of course, the second gorilla didn't like this, and it instantly led to a fight. You look at how these animals fight, and it even becomes scary to imagine how strong and literally invincible they are in a one-on-one combat. It's just a bag of muscles that can push its opponent so hard that it'll fly into the stratosphere. 1 against 4. However, angry gorillas can be stopped by the realization of the fact that they're fighting the minority. In this video, a group of gorillas was lying somewhere in the middle of the forest thinking about their everyday lives, when suddenly one of them didn't like something. It broke a branch and attacked a congener gorilla, for which it was instantly fought back by the other apes, which stood up to defend their friend. This immediately calmed the aggressor down and made it rethink its behavior. Although the battle did not continue, the mother and its baby decided to get away from there, just in case. Just in case the ape that had been aggressive would decide to do it again. In that case, a fight would ensue, and it would be better to stay away from it. Well, now I suggest we delve into the facts and find out what these giant primates are and why they beat their chests with their fists. Stay tuned, it'll be interesting. So, as I said earlier today, these creatures eat mostly vegetation. Since leaves are not very caloric, an adult gorilla has to eat 55 to 66 pounds of food every day. At the same time, they don't need much water because they get enough moisture from plants. And what about beating the chest? Every ape does this with one simple purpose: to intimidate its opponent. If any of you would like to see this in person, come to Africa. Wild gorillas live only there. You can talk to the great apes in any way you want, but I would still recommend using at least one of the 22 sounds they use to communicate with their congeners. Alternatively, you can encounter a gorilla while it's walking around doing its business, and at the same time ask it a question about what's bothering it. Don't worry, there will definitely be such a moment, because about a third of the time that they don't sleep, gorillas are looking for food and eating. Most importantly, don't go and talk to the gorilla in its home. It can end badly. For the uninvited guest, of course. In case of danger, females usually stay in the den and protect their babies, while males go out to face the potential threat. Defending their group, they always stand to the end and do not retreat. Great apes are very similar to humans. During their lifetime, several generations change and a real hierarchy is formed. No matter how you look at it, these creatures can live for more than 30 years. The only thing that doesn't apply to them is the saying, live and learn. Although these creatures are extremely intelligent, they don't like to learn anything new. In zoos, as we've seen today, battles between congeners are frequent, to put it mildly. Gorillas fight for the attention of the audience, or simply because of excessive irritability. In the wild, however, things are slightly different. As for females, nothing changes. Ladies are still insanely aggressive and often clash with their congeners. As for males, however, everything is different. They can fight only if someone decides to claim the leadership of the alpha male. Nevertheless, none of these fights ever leads to a fatal outcome. By the way, I was comparing great apes to us, and I said we're very similar. Did you know that their DNA is more than 95% similar to human DNA? Gorillas even have fingerprints, and each of them is unique, just like those of humans. That's all, guys. What fact about gorillas surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.